was it?
I can't even keep a straight face. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still trying to reel it all in right now.
Did we okay, so the show in its final episode in the finale decided to go super ultra uber meta, massive meta, fourth wall breaking massive meta, which kind of fits, you know, some of the comics where she's bursted through panels before. She actually burst through the Disney Plus panels in this episode, but what the fuck? That was the conclusion. So this is so weird because it's definitely different. It's definitely creative, but it also kind of makes the entire show pointless. Like all the fucking plot threads that they were setting up, they basically just fucking dumped a bunch of Easter eggs on the screen and said, you know, are you satisfied? Are you laughing? You know. We did the self-referential humor, and she bursts into the white writers' room. Shit is going breakneck pace. I'm like, what is happening? This is the worst shit I've ever seen. This is messy as fuck. This doesn't make sense.
She even said
it's
it
fucking
herself,
stupid.
Like, this is messy.
And it was on purpose.
Yes, it is.
It was on purpose, because then she, as you said, breaks the fourth wall, says, wait a minute, this is messy as fuck. This doesn't make sense. And she bursts into the writer's room. And I assume those are the real writers. They are. Some of them are, at least. And I'm like,
Now I know who to blame.
Now I know. It makes total sense now. So, wow.
That was a conclusion.
Are you staying silent on purpose, Alex?
No. I'm just waiting for when you
Go ahead.
I got nothing to say about this shit. You know I don't like this.
Go ahead.
And it was bad. And you know I always think it's funny because we watch movies where they're like, no, it's supposed to be bad. It's an homage to bad films. It's supposed to be bad. You're supposed to not like it. It's like mission successful. I didn't like it. It was bad. Like the first half of this episode was bad on purpose.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it, like I was supposed to not like it, and I guess what? I didn't fucking like it. Yeah. And then the thing that we did get at the end wasn't very good, so I got a half bad finale on purpose, and I got a half not very good finale on purpose, and so guess what? I don't think it was good.
It's a failure. It's a failure.
No, it's a success, because they were trying to be bad.
Oh.
So in their mind,
it's a success on being a failure.
Yeah, they wanted to fail, and they wanted to make something a piece of shit. And congratulations, you did it. I love that they were successful in being a piece of shit. Yeah. I love the '70s reference. I used to watch that show with my dad all the time.
That's the one good thing that I like.
The callback to the original Incredible Hulk thing. I think it was Bill Bixby.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so great.
What was it? Dave Banner.
David Banner.
They thought Bruce sounded too gay.
Yeah.
This was a different time period.
Yeah. Yeah, so I love that TV show. Matt Murdock is always great. What else did I like? I like that the series is over, and I don't have to watch it again for at least another year. So it's like today's good.
Today's a good day.
They were successful in making a piece of shit. Congratulations. I didn't like it, just like I didn't like most of the other ones. And we got to move on with other stuff.
Yeah, so mentioning that was really good recreations of the original, TV shows episode in her dream. So we get a little bit of that. Honestly, I was down with an entire episode like that.
Me too.
You wanted to go like meta?
Sue Ferrigno.
I love it.
It was well done. If
Yeah.
you put the shots side by side, you look like this is like extremely well done. Even that weird, like one guy, she's like, "Don't make me angry," and the guy is like standing all weird, and he's like green screen. He looks different.
It worked.
But you put it side by side by the actual shot, and it's like, yeah, it kind of looked like that too. So that works. And it's a shame because it was a dream. So in our dream, we had a really good meta episode, but then we had a really cringe meta episode in reality. And while there are elements here that I like on their own, it doesn't work as a finale for me, and it kind of makes the entire rest of the show pointless. And they made it bad on purpose. And that was the point, I think. It was all bullshit made up by Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. Which I thought we were gonna see Kevin Feige. I was like, oh shit. I like the fact that it was a robot. I mean, yeah, it was the most meta thing I've ever seen, but one of the most cringy, stupidest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I like coming at it from a fourth wall. If you love fourth wall breaking, then you're going to love this episode because this goes hard in that direction. And I like fourth wall breaking. That's why I like some of the elements here, but I like I said, it doesn't culminate in a satisfying conclusion to the show. It really makes a lot of the plot lines pointless, and I just really hate that we have a Todd Hulk now. That Todd Hulk exists. It's disgusting.
No, they made it go away.
No, it existed. I saw it with my own eyes. Joe, you hate fourth wall breaking, or you hated how the show was doing fourth wall breaking. How did you feel about this episode when they went full on?
It was too much. This was way too much. Like I get that's how she's supposed to be, but this was.
But it doesn't mean
beyond.
You have to like it. Just
exactly.
It's in the comics. You don't.
Because it wasn't funny. It wasn't. I wasn't entertained by it. It was just cringe, like you said.
That's the biggest sin is when you're trying to be funny and you're not funny, and it just because it's not funny. I wish it was more funny.
It just wasn't made for us. We're supposed to be 11 and flossing and on TikTok and not really paying attention, and then that is who the target
and female, and God, men are so fucking stupid. Men are so fucking dumb and easily manipulated.
Yeah.
They have to be told what to do. I mean, the only guy in this that's not a piece of shit is named Pug, a dog.
Well, his last name's Pug.
What do you think that means? Yeah, no, they do that shit on purpose. Guys, this was annoying. The comedy was not working, other than the small referential Easter eggs that it's like, oh, hey, I know that because I'm a comics fan. And that's what I would say to Kevin if I saw him. It's like, hey, when are we getting an X-Men? When are we doing this? When are we that? But it's like, that's not a, what are we doing? That you could do that in episode 5 in the middle of the fucking series and shit. This is supposed to be the finale. Whose show is this supposed to be? Is the title of the fucking episode, basically. And you're right. Whose show is this? I mean, the times that the show has been great is when cameos were showing up. And then they're like, haha, isn't it so funny this show is nothing but cameos? And then at the end, they do nothing but cameos. So who's the villain of this show?
The writers.
No, you're right.
You're not wrong.
No, he's actually right. I mean, she has to go and get the writers in line because they were fucking everything up.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's still fucked up. I was gonna say it was a troll incel. It was an incel. So we have a Hulk incel troll now. It's Todd Hulk, I guess. How they managed to these notes I took, I just stopped taking notes as I was watching the episode because I was like, this is a masterclass in what not to do, and then I started to realize that it was going full on meta. That this is showing up, and then Titania's just bursting through the wall like fucking Kool-Aid Man, and then fucking Hulk jumps. I'm like, well, clearly he's not there yet. Because I'm like, what is happening? I was like, this is a master class in what not to do in writing.
I would have loved if she actually did burst through the wall and go, oh yeah,
and
2 points. I
would have laughed.
Yeah,
that would have been one of the jokes that I would have laughed.
Funny as fuck. Yeah,
and that would be meta. But how they shoved this all, that would have been.
Yeah, that would have been good.
How they shoved this all in 22 minutes, it is fucking unreal.
It was only 22 minutes?
I don't know. 20-something minutes.
It felt long.
I don't know.
I'm
going to look it up. Y'all talk. Fuck y'all. No, y'all fucking talk.
At least we know that Hulk has a son now, but I thought he was supposed to get blown up. He's supposed to get blowed up.
What do you mean?
No, that's... Well... What part are you talking about? His mother? Yeah, this is clearly not the comics. They fucking fucked up World War Hulk. Like, they can't do that.
Well, they fucked up Civil War.
As cool as it would have been.
Yeah.
I guess they're doing or they're doing World War Hulks.
Yeah.
Plural. I don't fucking know, Alex. This Scar.
Nobody
So
knows
Scar.
where this
So
is
yeah.
going now.
So then at the very end, Scar, who is Hulk's son, shows up for literally 3 seconds. Has no fucking talking lines. I mean, if you really want to know what he looks like, you have to literally rewind and rewatch because that's how fast they show him. And it's like, what is the fucking point in this? I get it. I get you're teasing everything else in the MCU. You're saying we're gonna do some weird variation of World War Hulk or some kind of. I don't know.
I don't think we're getting anything close to.
It's gonna be their own version. They're probably gonna do, I don't know, the Red Hulk version, and it's gonna be the female Red Hulk, maybe the Betty Ross. I don't know. I'm just flabbergasted by what I just saw.
It's provocative. It's supposed to.
It's supposed to shock you.
Yeah, it's supposed. Yeah, you're not. It's not supposed to make sense. They want you to talk about it. And the thing is, I don't want to talk about it because nothing here is worth talking about. It is just meta garbage. For me, it didn't land. I mean, look, I've said this before. If you're the kind of person that like stands up and applauds fucking like commercials that come on TV, especially like Super Bowl, and like you save them and you rewatch them on your phone, like, hey, remember that Super Bowl commercial? I fucking really like that. If that is you, then you probably love this shit. But I don't fucking know. I don't know who this is for. I'd like to think that the average human being, even if like the opposite is man hating whatever, like I'd even like to think that those people are watching this going, this isn't very good.
27 minutes 18 seconds.
Wow, you felt every minute of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the villain of the show is incredibly disappointing. The intelligentsia is not the intelligentsia that we know from the comics, where it's like literally all the coolest and smartest supervillains with great plans.
It's fucking Todd.
It is incels on the internet who hate She-Hulk. It's angry YouTubers
That hate females.
It's slut shaming and that kind of thing. And then Titania, who initially I thought could be interesting. They can make a play on Instagram. All these are and they do a little bit of that, but she's ultimately a letdown.
Yeah. She's
just walking the streets, just bursting into every room she enters. She bursts in. Why is she not in jail? Did I miss that? She literally destroyed a courtroom and almost killed, attempted murder on jurors, and she's just walking free.
Low blood sugar. That's what That's what they said. And she had low blood sugar, and so it's forgiven.
It's funny.
Oh,
it's very funny.
I see.
It's Joe. It's very funny.
I forgot to laugh.
Yeah,
that's the part. Okay, so the. What was ultimately She-Hulk's character arc?
She got to bang Daredevil.
What did she learn?
Smash.
She learned that she liked banging Daredevil.
And what did she overcome?
Loneliness.
It sounded like he did a very good job, so we know exactly.
Overcoming,
yeah.
So she did a very good job overcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Characters arcs not too good.
No.
Villains not too good.
Pug had an interesting character arc. He started off as a lawyer,
somewhat normal person,
a normal
and
human
then
being,
turned into
idiot.
Malibu's Most Wanted,
idiot
Malibu's Most Wanted, where he's just like, yeah, I'm a lawyer now.
I guess he kind of always was, but we just didn't notice it because they wouldn't let him talk, I suppose.
On the first one, he's like, I brought you this basket. Here's all these other things. And it's just like, okay, he seems like a normal guy.
But it did seem like a comedy relief character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I think he's always supposed to be comedy relief, but then they turned him into a moron. So, I don't know. So that happened. I like her dad's great. I think he's like a. I love that in a Marvel show, like we've had the last two, we got like really great supportive dads because like Kamala's dad, awesome, love Kamala's dad,
Yeah.
love Jen's dad.
Very
I like
supportive.
Kamala's dad better.
We should
than
have a
Jen's
buddy
dad.
cop movie where it's just the Kamala's dad and Jen's dad getting together, and they do
Yeah.
shit at like Home Depot, and like
Fucking
they just
dad
walk around.
jokes.
It's like, hey man, do you want to work on that fence? And so they're arguing over like what kind of stuff do you? I'd
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that.
I'd rather watch that.
I want to
than
meet your
this.
dad.
Than this motherfucking did all that visual diarrhea did all that visual diarrhea really just happen on screen?
I think diarrhea is kind of funny. So yeah, I don't- I
Visual
wouldn't-
diarrhea.
I don't even
is
actually
what
think
saw
I would
on
call it
screen.
diarrhea.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did have a lot of save money jokes on the CGI, so that was kind of funny. They pointed that out. I was wondering if they were going to poke fun at their visual effects artists being slaves and being underpaid and overworked, but guess they weren't that meta.
No.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle that part of it.
Only the good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Funny.
Um,
No realism.
so when you go full on meta like that and you just basically do a bunch of cameos and reference a bunch of upcoming shows, it's not much of a conclusion. It's creative. The writers think it's extremely clever. It's more kind of just annoying and is not satisfying and kind of makes a lot of the rest of the show feel pointless. But that was the point, Joe. It was she does it in the comics, so it's great. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of her bursting through the Disney Plus thing. I like the idea of Kevin. I will give it that. I like the robot because it's like, how the fuck does this one person oversee the entire thing? It's a fucking logarithm, It's funny on paper. It's really, really funny on paper. But it just doesn't come through on screen, and I don't know why.
I think it's got good bones. I agree with you. And everyone always forgets Joe Esposito. He produces all this shit too. So like you can't Kevin's got some help.
I've completely forgot about it.
Yeah, he's the other guy that's in charge of all of Marvel everything.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think this show does have good bones. I just don't think they had the proper people to translate it. And I've never liked the argument. Well, it's in the source material. It belongs. You love that example I always bring up in source material. Remember that Stephen King where all the kids have sex in a sewer because and then it's real gross. And one of the kids didn't want to, so one of the kids rapes another kid in a sewer. And when they make the It movie, they knew to leave that shit out because no one wants to watch it.
Right.
So you can leave stuff out of the original source material if it won't work on TV or in the movie.
No,
and then you need to learn.
I agree with you on that, but it doesn't apply here because I do think they shouldn't have left it out. They should put in fourth wall breaking. But
I agree.
As the conclusion, as the epic conclusion, I think it's a little too much, especially when the show itself has been, poorly written, not as funny as it should be, extremely messy, and then that's been the joke all along.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I want the fourth wall breaking. I think it's important. I'm just saying that there's a level of it that is just totally not appropriate for TV and
And this is
and
it.
TV and movies. And this is a proven point. You cannot put this level of fourth wall breaking. It does not work.
But Alex, it's different. It does something different than the MCU formula. Aren't you tired of the MCU formula?
Sure, absolutely.
This is way creative.
Yeah, it's very different. So there's two ways you could have gone. The MCU stuff is always, let's say, B- content, right? On average, this MCU stuff is like B-. There's some bad stuff, but it's mostly good stuff. You could have gone up, which you didn't. So you went down. And so this is like D+ fucking TV.
Yeah, you want to look. You want to see something different that kind of separates from the formula. Check out Werewolf by Night. It's different. It pays homages. It does stuff in source the material it kind of pulls from. That's done well. And the fourth wall breaking here might be creative, but I think better writers needed to handle it and better directors needed to handle it. So while elements of it I do like the Kevin thing. I kind of like the lawyer of the week kind of case of the week, but we didn't really get that. We got it maybe once or twice over 9 episodes. I don't know. I don't know if this is how it's going to be, if they're going to do a season 2, if it's done well enough to garner a season 2. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't want it.
I don't want to see season 2. They fucked it up. Because, like I said, I wanted to see Case of the Week.
But Joe, what about all of our views on YouTube and all the angry white men on YouTube? What are they going to do now if there's no season 2?
Find
They're not
another
going to make
show.
any money.
Well, there's the Marvels. They'll just be mad at the Marvels.
We'll have to do the what are they going to do with Todd Hulk, Joe? He's got to show up in Avengers, Todd Hulk, and scream and yell that there's these women shouldn't deserve
Females.
powers. Females.
Fems, or I think.
No, I think they're mixing,
'Cause
you know,
he
incels
really-
and what is it? The mystery method people that follow. They're just mixing a bunch of people together because that's who would call females, like men who are like, you know, let's get in our pants, and these guys are more like,
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
hate women. Yeah. Just gross. Did you notice that Abomination was like way bigger than Hulk? I
Yes.
think that's because it's the smart Hulk, but it's like, damn, they sized him down or sized Abomination up. I don't know.
I think they're both appropriately sized because they wanted to. I mean, they've nerfed Hulk to the point where he's not very interesting anymore. But
So you're saying it's appropriately sized to that?
yeah, I think that Abomination is always that size, and
Yeah.
real Hulk is supposed to be. I like that Abomination is just like, you're a child. You're not. I mean, I'm not threatened by Hulk at all because he shouldn't be, because they fucked up the character Hulk. He's like, look, you could just pick him up by the head and go, no, because that Hulk sucks now.
Yeah. Other than giving good advice, I like his advice. Now,
Yeah.
I think the
Wong
show,
gives good advice though.
the show itself has a message, and I just don't think the message landed, at least not with this particular audience in this room. Maybe it landed with women and stuff that I don't know. Because I don't really feel like the characters really learn anything, go on a good character arc. There's not good messages and morals in it. Like, for example, I'm just picking something out. You remember the wedding? Right,
Unfortunately,
you know,
yes.
and she goes over there. Basically, it's just, oh, this is my good friend from a long time ago. That was bullshit. The girl hated her. Lulu was a piece of shit, and then Jen goes herself really to just show off as, you know, the Hulk. So it's just all really unlikable people. It's like women writing women unlikable, and then also shitting on men. So you have Lulu, who's like a bitch to her the whole fucking time, and you think at the end of the episode, you know, a lesson would be learned. Lulu would, you know, learn from it, and they, you know, resolve that. But no, it turns into the fight between her and Titania, and then Lulu doesn't, you know, learn anything. She's just kind of like still, oh,
No,
hey.
she's like,
No,
oh, how
Lulu
are you
cheated on
doing?
her husband, right?
Oh, that's right.
Immediately
Yeah.
after getting married, she starts making
and
out
then
with
she's
someone.
like cheating on her husband. So, and she's like, you know, because after being mean to Jen, she's just a piece of shit. And it's like, okay. And that's what I feel like. So many of the characters in this are kind of just pieces of shit or made to be stupid and dumb and over the top. And I get that comedies are more funny when you have really, really flawed characters and over the top characters, right? And then you put these characters into situations, and that's where you get your comedy. But for some reason, it feels hollow, malicious, and more of a facsimile, like they're trying to copy and can't do it as well, is what I'm getting across here. So, I mean, that's just me. So let's go to final verdicts for episode 9, and then we're going to have to take into consideration every single episode and do a separate rating. So let's just do this episode first. Joe, episode 9?
Episode 9, I'm going to give this a 3.
Okay.
It was exactly what she said. It was a mess. It was just all over the place. It was going very fast, and then the build up for intelligentsia was shit. It was just Todd all along. Kind of figured that as
We
were
knew.
going.
Yeah, we
It's
knew.
like we knew it was Todd. It just there's no threat level, no nothing. It just like kind of ended. It's like, all right, the show's over. That was kind of dumb. It's like, all right,
Yeah, I
give me
feel-
Matt Murdock so we can
Yeah.
make another cameo, and cameo by other people so this show doesn't suck.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel foolish because it's like, you know,
Then
does it
there's-
suck? Why are people so mad over it? Megan She-Hulk twerking, oh my God. You know, we were like, you know, at first
And then, like,
defending it,
whatever.
and then the show itself is like, nah, just take a shit on everything, and
Yeah, and there's no
I guess
character
they were
arc
right
and
the whole time.
character development was shit on this. So
I think you were right for the wrong
3.
reasons.
They were right for the wrong reasons, and then ended up being right.
Yeah. Because there's too many people on the internet patting themselves on the back. Like, I told you so. This was a piece of shit. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah,
you hated
this
it.
is the
because-
worst show on television,
Yeah.
bar none. Is one comment I got. I even put it on the thumbnail of episode 4. Is this the worst thing on TV? And honestly, it wasn't the worst thing on TV. And there are still good elements in it, but this is just obnoxious and annoying. And so it makes me feel gross. All right. Anyways,
Gross.
yeah. So what you? So 3 out of 10 for
3
you.
out of 10. And again, I don't like the fourth wall break too much, and they overdid it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't think that this episode was very good. I think it was purposely trying to not be very good and be real tropey. And honestly, I think the tropey garbage probably would have been better than what we ended up getting. They're like, this is bad, and your expectations are subverted. It's like, okay, but you're going to show me something good at the end. We're going to have some sort of conflict. Maybe if we're not going to do some garbage physical CGI conflict, are we going to have something where Jen gets to use her mind or
Learn something,
shown that she's learned anything over the course of the show? No, we don't do any of that stuff. They're like, well, we solved everything off screen the way that we did in Moon Knight, which was not fucking satisfying, and that shit is still fucking garbage. Because I fucking hate the Moon Knight supporters. Remember when the big fight in Moon Knight didn't happen, or they time skip? That's what happened here. They're like, oh, the finale happened. It's like, cool, what happened? It's like, oh, I'm not going to show you. I know. I just imagine it happened because we can't actually put something on screen that is satisfying, so we will just tell you it was satisfying.
No, the finale was the writers were fucking it up. She told the writers to stop fucking it up. She wants to talk with Kevin, and then
they end up on the lawn, and
then
Abomination
they do, instead of a CGI fight, she talks to the bad guy and arrests him with the law.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just
ends. But it just ends. So it's like Abomination is no longer Abomination. He's getting arrested. They skipped all the point where she could have been talking to Emil and saying.
Yeah, but see, I think Emil was not. He's not intelligentsia. He just kind of got roped into that because he was just like a life coach. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he was a part of intelligentsia. Though I guess he does still break his.
He goes to jail for 10 years.
He breaks his because he transformed into the Abomination.
Yeah.
But why did he transform into the Abomination? What does that add?
Because he got paid.
To his life coaching. But that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why did he transform into the Abomination?
We didn't get any of that. We don't know any of the things. We see Abomination, and then we see him getting arrested. And then she's like, if you sign that, you go to jail for 10 years. We skipped all the other part where it could have been interesting, where she is actually talking to him. And I don't know. We skipped all the parts that could have been good. And
I can't believe there's so much in here at 27 minutes. Like, and nothing. You can't think about anything. It's just visual diarrhea. It's just throwing Easter eggs at your face for 22 minutes. And then, are you satisfied at the end?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you give it?
I haven't yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with a 3, just as same as OJ. I think this is below average. This is something that I just don't think is bad. I wanted to turn it off multiple times. Sometimes I can watch something and you go, oh, you recognize this is average. Oh, this is below average. Like, this is something that I wanted to turn off.
I was looking to see
It's
how
only
much longer.
27 minutes.
Yeah, but if you feel every
You were
minute.
looking to see when to...
It's
Yeah,
like, how much longer is this?
I'm thinking about other things. Like I wanted to, well, maybe I got emails or I got to do. Maybe I got something else. I wanted to
You're
not
thinking
be.
about work.
I was thinking about work that I don't want to be doing instead of watching the show. So I haven't been on board in this. Like the suspension of disbelief has been long gone for me. And so if you're going to do season 2, you need better writers. As far as, are we doing the whole season now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So, 3-3, I'm in agreement with a 3. Just a complete flat face plant in a finale in order to make a joke and a fourth wall break. And while I like the idea of breaking the fourth wall, and I like some elements that they're doing here, it doesn't work for me. I just like, what the fuck was that? It was, like I said before, visual diarrhea, a bunch of Easter eggs. Nothing feels like a satisfying conclusion. The characters don't really learn anything. Everybody's an over-the-top idiot joke. They write men like morons, and they honestly do a disservice to women as well. These women writing the women characters are all fucking, kind of pieces of shit. If you think, certain ones like, the wives are mad at Immortal Man, and then the second he's like, let's do this money, then they all of a sudden they're all greedy. It's just, I don't know. I guess I was hoping for a more funny show with better writing talent. And if the same writers and we see the actual writers, we see the actual directors in this episode, and I see that room, and I'm like, yeah, it makes total sense to me now. You can't really judge a book by its cover, but in this case, it just doesn't. It's not good. And I'm wondering if they're going to do a season 2. And if they do, I guarantee you it's going to be these same writers, these same directors. And we'll have to go through it again. Because
Excuse me.
I said we'll have to go through it again. And
Who's
this
gonna
is
be the
more
villain?
it's more like fucking stupid depressing rather than like rather than really, really bad like a Star Trek Picard. Mainly because, Joe, it's Marvel, it's comics. We review good stuff and we review bad stuff. And, the potential of the She-Hulk series is still there. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It would be great if season 2 would focus a little bit more on that. And if this arc is the arc that it conveys in the episode where she's like, fuck all this. Fuck all this CGI garbage. Fuck all this formulaic MCU things. I want to do things my way, and my way is through the law and helping little people and, doing that. Maybe that will carry over into season 2, and it will be that.
So
Hopefully.
you're saying the show needs to grow a beard?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
That's so in TNG, the first season was
Oh,
regarded as not
Riker.
good.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then what happens
Yeah,
is
yeah.
when it starts to get good, they say the show grew a beard, right? But
I've never heard of that
Me
before.
neither.
Oh, so when people when I tell people to watch
Riker.
TNG, there's a couple episodes in the first season that you got to watch for context. But honestly, the show only starts getting good once they lay all the context. This, in theory, could be that. I don't think it is, but if we're giving them the benefit of the doubt, which I
that's
don't
what I'm
believe.
saying. Because if you go with what's written here, and if you take it all at face value, what they're saying, that she's like, I hate this. I want the writers to write it like this, and if she gets what she wants moving forward, and you even see her walking up the steps to the courtroom, oh, hey, you're doing this for you and this and that, but then even the guy still is like, who are you wearing today? And she's like, shut up or something, and then she walks off. So maybe it'll be good going forward. So 3 out of 10 for episode 9. Now let's go ahead and factor in the overall season and give that a rating. So I don't think any of us here think that this is an above average show. So what are you looking at, Joe, for the entire season? And here at the AngryJoe Show, we don't take the individual motherfucking numbers and fucking calculate them mathematically and carry the 4. That doesn't happen
No, we
here.
just give you one
This
at the end.
is it's actually our opportunity for a little bit of a revision. It's like, okay, now that I've seen where it was all going, here's how I feel about it.
I'm torn between a 3 and a 4.
So you got slightly below average, and then lower than that.
I'm going to go with a 3 because it's not what I wanted. There was not enough court cases, and every time we did get them, it wasn't even her. It was Mallory or somebody else.
Written poorly.
And the build-up to the Hulk King was a super letdown. I was like, all right, well, the villain of the whole series?
Intelligentsia is a shitty
it's a
version
fucking
of
joke.
what.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
In that,
But it's a comedy, Joe. Didn't you not laugh?
no.
That's the other
comedy
thing.
didn't
It's
work.
a comedy that you didn't laugh a whole lot.
Yeah, so like the whole resolution for that Hulk King is over in like 5 seconds. It's like, okay, well, this whole series is leading up to nothing. And the villains were shit. Titania didn't really do much. She just bust through walls.
Josh.
And
creepy.
Josh just
fucking
hired
He's a
Banger.
prostitute.
He's a prostitute.
And then
And
Todd.
then who else did we have for the villain?
Todd. Well, we already talked about Todd.
Well, yeah, that was it. Shitty. 3.
Hey, the cameos were great. Daredevil.
That's the only thing that helped. And this one
Wongers.
was like,
good.
all right, we got to get everyone. So they got
Yeah.
everyone from the show in this cameo.
Sure. I guess I can see a point for Jen Walters because I like her character at times, and the actress is doing a good job. And I'll give another point for Daredevil. And I'll give a point for the Wongers and a few jokes that made me laugh. So yeah, I can see we're at 3-4. Let me still think about it. Alex, what do you?
I don't think this is very good. I think that the bones and the potential was there. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm disappointed. Like, I liked the idea of She-Hulk figuring out how to She-Hulk, working with Bruce in the beginning, figuring out all these things. Of course, there's some cringy bullshit they said in the beginning that pissed everyone off.
Yes.
I think ultimately the writers were kind of punching, or writing down, and just constantly. They were trying to be too meta with it. They were trying to anticipate the hate that they knew that they were going to get because incels do exist. But I think it's one of those things that we learned being on the internet is you don't feed the trolls. And this is an entire show of them feeding the trolls. And all you're doing is you're bringing attention to the scum of the earth. And I'm not talking about people who don't like the show. If you are an incel threatening actors and actresses, you're scum. And I don't like you. And this show, all it did was put a
Give
big...
them
and
what they wanted and what they needed.
But
to
what they
complain.
also did is that threw in people that just simply don't like the show in with that lot. And that's something that happens politically. It
Yes.
happens with everything where it sets up this kind of form of like, now it's like television tribalism where it's like, you didn't like my show, you're an incel. It's like, no, man, this was just garbage. Nothing was, it's a comedy show that none of us laughed a single fucking time. And I watch some bad comedies, and even now, every now and then I'm going to get something. This didn't have any of that. And so not only did they make a bad show, but they've done damage to the fucking internet, which is hard to do.
I think that's why I'm so depressed. I'm feeling depressed right now. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about She-Hulk, but it's more about that discourse that Alice is talking about.
Yeah, and so no one was complaining during Terminator 2 when Sarah Connor.
People were definitely complaining in Terminator 2.
Terminator 2,
Yeah,
right?
nobody was complaining.
When Aliens 2 came out and Alien came out, it's just like, it's one of those things that like these strong female characters have always existed. Now, the issue is now we have people who aren't as talented writing these strong female characters, and then when you don't like them because they're not as good as these other ones, they're like, fucking incel. It's like,
And
look.
then on the other side, it's I'm bringing my social agenda, I'm bringing my politics, and my far left wing, and then they're writing, and then these people pick up on it and say this is what's wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, you're right. You actually have to agree. You have to agree with them. So this is woke garbage.
Yeah. So we got a cast of unlikable characters, and there's only one comedy on TV where all of the characters are unlikable, and I love it, and it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But they're
Great
supposed
show.
to be completely... All the characters are supposed to be pieces of shit, unlikable people, and it's great. This is not that.
These characters are supposed to be loved and adored, and they're cute. And instead, they're obnoxious, they're annoying, and they're pieces of shit.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't like the characters, I don't like the story, I don't think there was an arc. All I really liked was the cameos, and so you're using my love of Netflix's series to make me like parts of this, and then like Wong and some of these
eggs
and those other things. So I think that you failed at making season 1. So I'm gonna go with overall. I think it's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 3 out of 10. Overall as well. So basically, right in line with the last episode. Joe, what do you think for the entire series?
The 3.
3,
Yeah.
3, 3. Okay, so episode 9, 3.
Because
The whole series itself is 3. And why I'm so quiet and why I'm so reflective on it is that a lot of people were screaming at me, and it feels bad because they were like, Joe, you're a fucking sellout, you're a fucking idiot. Why are you defending the show when we were in episode 1, when we were in episode 2? I was like giving it a 7, and then I gave it a 6, and people were freaking out. They were like, how could you fucking do this? And then it goes along, it gets worse and worse. It just makes me look bad, and I guess that's I give things a chance up front.
Yeah,
and
that's what
I
we
had
do.
no idea where this was going. And after seeing where it was going, they were right. Now, did they know where it was going? No. I mean, they say they will. They say there were indications of this type of writing, and it just got worse and worse as it went along. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, anyways, I was wrong about my optimism about She-Hulk at the beginning, and it turned into a very disappointing, poorly written show that, yeah, kind of sucks. And I'm just depressed now because it could have been great. There are strong elements there, and I just don't think that the writing team is going away. I feel like season 2's coming. I feel like it's, it'll be the same thing, and then I'll have some hope when I go in there, and then everybody will be like, Joe, you're an idiot. Stop having hope for it. And then we'll do the same thing. It'll start off good. See, look, they learned, and then more of this shit will creep in, and we'll be doing this
all over again. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys. Well, let us know. What did you think of She-Hulk? Did you think it was ultimately bad? What did you think of the finale? Did you like it? Why did you like it? And do you think we're wrong? Why do you think we're wrong? Or do you agree with some of the points that we made? So that's it for She-Hulk. I'm actually, I'm happy that we don't have to do that one no more, and we can go to well-written shows and spreading the word over. Hey, go watch Andor. It's also
Rings of
on
Power
the same
tomorrow
service.
too.
Fuck the finale. It's been a wonderful week here at the Angry Joe Show. But go watch Hellraiser. Go watch Andor. Go watch House of the Dragon. Yeah, Werewolf by Night. There's plenty of good content. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.